like this weird thing to my voice that does that shit sometimes. Oh, what's up? We're fucking live.
Are we? No, we're not.
It says live.
And we're live!
Pretty sure we can all read. Most of us.
Wait,
See,
I wouldn't be sure of that.
the whole thing with these new just going live drops is that nobody's supposed to say we're live. It's just supposed to be organic. And then I'm supposed to just do something like this episode is brought to you by Heaven Pantry's Excalibur. With 6 simple ingredients: dates, cashews, almonds, cocoa powder, coconut oil, and sea salt. It is gluten-free, all natural, and vegan. There's no sugars added. There are no ingredients you cannot pronounce. Go and get yours today on Amazon. Order now with the promo code TalkJunk69 and get 10% off every order. You cannot beat that. But let me tell you what you need to get. You need to get you some ggaz, the premium mango liqueur. It is cognac and tequila mixed with some hints of mango and citrus. It is the best thing going right now out of LA besides, Anyway, go ahead and purchase you a bottle. Go to the ggaz brand on Instagram. Follow their links. I order from Emilio's in Cali. You'll get it in like 4 or 5 days. But it is definitely worth the wait. You want to get about 3 bottles. It's going to last you. I love this thing.
It goes good with your Excalibur brownie.
Well, I'm just saying, if you have a hard night drinking ggaz, right, and you want to go to bed and you want to soak up all of that liquor, what better way to do it than a vegan brownie?
Just a whole box of them. Have like multiple boxes under your bed, and when you're hungry, just pull out and eat like 8 of them.
Yeah, I should have done that last time because I really liked them and I ate them too fast.
Exactly. You don't believe us? Go try it for yourself. Tonight, we're talking Memphis Rap Sigils or horrorcore. Stay tuned.
Talking Junk Network,
where entertainment lives.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to
BreakRoom, yo.
Your favorite rapper's favorite podcast.
See, this is why I like your show. You guys charismatic. You know the right things to say.
Welcome to the Break Room, the podcast that comes to you live every Saturday night. We're here all together tonight. Migs, Darby, and Dre. How's everybody doing tonight? It's been a little while. We haven't been here for a minute.
I'm doing good. I see that you've been struggling with YouTube jail for a little bit, huh?
Yes. They put us in jail because of the Pizzagate episode. Yeah, they said we were. Yeah, we just got off of jail.
I still don't know what happened.
They said
Pizzagate and Chris Benoit.
Well, we got the Chris Benoit overturned only for them to hit me with a copyright right after for it.
See, that's the thing. I don't think it's even like an actually person even doing that. It's literally just an algorithm.
Well, fuck you, algorithm.
Well, algorithm's that person's middle name, so I'm pretty sure there's
algorithm. Fuck you.
Algorithm.
It might be a person that's actually reporting the video.
Yes. It has to be
a hater.
It's got to be some bitch ass dude behind a computer going, "I don't like this."
Let's
do that.
It's definitely a hater. Haters are going to hate.
In general, a lot of Pizzagate stuff gets flagged automatically because it was like a huge thing on YouTube for such a long time.
No. Bro, but I could go on YouTube right now and pull up some Pizzagate shit.
Well, yeah, because they probably got flagged like 10 times before they had to like actually appeal each and every single time.
Yeah,
Dude,
well, I appealed only once, and I can't appeal again. They were like, "Fuck you, we're taking this video off."
you should probably get used to the appealment process because you're probably gonna be going through it a lot in the future.
Probably, because we're not gonna shut the fuck up.
It's gonna be a new constant. Honestly, just start posting them. You know.
Good evening.
Good evening, sunshine.
Always good to see you. Always first one in, last one to leave. True fan. I miss it. I miss seeing you. I miss you guys. I've been out for a bit. I know my voice sounds a little fucked up, but I talk on a lot of phones and I haven't been resting as much as I should, but I'm recovering.
Yeah, recovering. You've been taking a lot of trips to Vegas.
No, asshole. I wish I had money like that. I really did. But
What are you talking about? You are making the money in Vegas as a fluffer.
Listen, your camera's probably off for a reason, okay, Fluffy?
He don't want to let us know where you're at tonight.
Right?
It's a mystery.
This still picture is enough.
Hell yeah, man. Showing off the main.
Now show off the real face, brother. We live. Show that.
Well, it is a mystery. Darby's a man of mystery right now, just like tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is a little bit of a mystery.
So why don't you lead us off on what you got, Jay? Why does he look like that? I asked the same question, Sunshine.
Well,
yeah, I always with or without the light.
Talking about the occult, horrorcore, sigils, and the effect it had on Memphis rap. So that's why I got the little inverted shit. Why you don't like that? Is it scary, man?
Nah, not at all.
I'll switch it for you.
It's kind of funny because your eyes were like doing like opposite directions.
Right? You look this way, they go
I mean,
that way.
it has
cartoon filter.
Oh yeah, what happened to your Disney filter?
But with the frozen one.
Why did you have to bring it back, Dre? Why did you have to bring it back?
Bring it back?
Yeah. That's because it looks ridiculous no matter what.
Hey, but you know what? It is
do like
easier
this,
on the eyes than the regular face.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, damn, Migs.
Hey, he's my cousin. I'm allowed to give him that punch to the side of the neck. Like, what are you doing? Take that shit off.
Let me switch to a filter that's a little more appealing to you.
See, the thing is too is like, why is it cut off your beard? Not the chicken nugget one.
He's an annoying chicken nugget now.
So
see, I called it. I knew this episode was gonna be him playing with filters. I knew it.
It's not originally supposed to be. Let me go back here. I don't know why it says subscribe to that either, because that's not
when
my
you use that chicken nugget, your mouth is where your nose is. So hella awkward.
That's what's awkward. Not that you're drooling over the camera filter.
McNugget. That's not
The annoying McNugget.
Which filter is that, Jay? Is that like the teenage Instagirl filter?
I don't know what this shit is.
He's Harry Potter right now.
Harry Potter. I don't know, Jay. It's the black and white.
Glasses.
Did you said teenage Insta girl?
Teenage girl Insta filter. Like, I don't know. It just reminds me of shit I used to see back when I was in fucking high school. Girls posting on their Insta stories.
Which was like 3 years ago.
Well, yeah. That's why I said teenager, you fuck.
He said he's younger than you, Jay.
Exactly.
He's younger. He's the youngest in the room right now. He's probably the youngest, including the people in the chat right now.
Yeah, because y'all old fucks.
Oh, fuck you.
Getting old is the goal.
Dre got the fro. Hell yeah. I didn't want to say nothing yet, but yeah, that fro's on point right now, bro.
I'm trying to grow my hair out. I don't feel.
The way you said it, I'm trying to grow my fro. Like you didn't want to look straight at the camera when you said it.
But no, I'm not gonna get my hair cut for a while.
Yeah, give it some time, man.
What you gonna do with it? That's the question.
I was about to ask if you're gonna do braids.
I don't know yet.
That'd be sick.
Got so many options.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't turn it into a sigil.
Great segue, because that's what I was just about to explain. Because that's one of the biggest things in this whole episode is sigils.
Hello.
Sigils are, well, For those of you who are Marvel fans, you already know what sigils are from the latest Doctor Strange movie.
You and that Marvel shit, man. God,
The universe has got him.
right? He just couldn't talk about sigils. He has to talk about Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Miggs gave him a sigil segue, and he's just like, yeah, well, Marvel.
Well, we had to talk about it at least once tonight because it's relevant. She uses sigils in that movie, and we'll be talking about sigils. So,
what's not relevant is Jason Vision.
Listen, don't get mad at me because your neck threw up. All right, and we gotta look at that all night.
My neck blew up.
Threw up, vomit, like that.
My neck threw up.
Yes,
that's not has nothing to do with sigils, but okay.
Anyway, my friend, let's go into what sigil magic is. A sigil is a type of symbol used in magic. The term has usually referred to a type of pictorial signature of a deity or spirit. In modern usage, especially in the context of chaos magic, sigil refers to the symbolic representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. The use of symbols or magical or occult purposes have been spread worldwide since at least Neolithic era. The term sigil derives from the Latin sigillum, meaning seal. In medieval magic, the term sigil was commonly used to refer to occult signs, which represented various angels and demons, which the practitioner might summon. What, you was going to say something, Darby?
No, I was going to say exactly that. Like back in medieval times, sigils or seals specifically referred to specific deities or demons or angels specifically.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, there is something in modern time that we can look at, and I don't, like a dick, I forgot to write down the name of it, but there's something right now that uses sigil magic to keep in demons. They got one for each demon. I can't remember exactly what, 7 seals or some shit.
Oh, 76 Keys of Solomon?
I think so.
Book of Demonology?
Yeah, it was based. It's not actually anything recent. It was written a really long time ago, actually.
If Solomon wrote it, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. I don't think it was Solomon that wrote it, but
it's not common knowledge, but it's it's knowledge still now that people know, not something that we'd have to dig too deep for.
But that's a good example of sigils in the first place, because the 76 Keys was a detailed breakdown of a lot of demons from the lower, specifically the lower castes of hell, and like what their sigils are and how to identify them. But that's a good example of what sigils are.
So let's explain chaos magic for a second. So in chaos magic, following spare, sigils are commonly created by writing an intention, then condensing the letters of the statement down to the form of a sort of monogram. The chaos magician then uses the Gnostic state to launch or charge the sigil, essentially bypassing the conscious mind to implant the desire in the unconscious mind. To quote Ray Sherman, the magician acknowledges a desire. He lists the appropriate symbols and arranges them into an easily visualized glimpse. Using any of the Gnostic techniques, he refines the sigil and then, by force of will, hurls it into the subconscious, from where the sigil can begin to work uncumbered by desire.
Chaos magic doesn't only really apply to like sigils too. Chaos magic is like stripping all known magical techniques down to like their barest point. Like any practice can be considered chaos magic, from Wiccan sabbats, energy healing, tantric shit to satanic rituals. So yeah, pretty much all that's considered just chaos magic by using power of the subconscious mind to project will of power into reality.
Holy shit. Is that what women use when they're mad at us? It's like a jump of a hat.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, their sigil is sarcasm, but
remember, it's called witchcraft for a reason.
I don't know, man. I like being a wizard.
You don't have as much power as a woman, especially when it comes to this kind of shit.
Do you know, Dre? You give experience with witches?
I mean, you would know.
I would know. Jay, I've known some crazy people, right?
He is one.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't known you long, but you do know some crazy ass people, to say the least. Because aliens don't exist because they're not in the Bible.
Oh, you had to bring it up on live, didn't you?
Just at least once. I'm going through. I'm looking for some sigils to show you, but this is probably going to be a little controversial, and I love it, so I'm going to show it.
You probably shouldn't do that, just in case you don't want to get flagged.
Why?
But whatever.
Fuck, another week of YouTube jail.
Yeah, exactly.
For showing sigils?
Yeah, it's not like we have.
Okay, YouTube. This episode, right? Algorithm, Al Gore, Mr. Rhythm. Listen to me real quick. All right, this episode is for educational purposes only, and we are speaking in the hypothetical sense.
We also cite parody law.
Thank you, sir.
In the sarcastic sense, go fuck yourself.
We also don't know if these accounts of sigil magic in Memphis Rap are even true. These are just urban legends, to say the least. So we're telling that story. So eat a dick, YouTube. Don't try to kick me off. Don't try to kick me off for telling you to eat a dick either, because that's dickish. Anywho. One of the biggest sigils you'll see, because I believe Marilyn Manson has one on his hand, so it's pretty out there, is this symbol right here.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've seen that before.
Do you know what that is?
Seal of Satan?
Yes.
Reveal of Satan?
The sigil of Satan.
The sigil. It looks like one of those cups you drink sacred blood out of.
Honestly,
all right.
Can I turn it? I can't turn it. Let me see if I can.
No, you can't rotate it.
No, I can't. But if you rotate it to the right, you'll notice that this right here resembles something.
Okay, I'm breaking my neck sideways to look at it. Bear with me.
Does it look like something to you?
Just say what the fuck it looks like, Jay.
It is the Google Play Store app.
Oh, so we're going down this rabbit hole now?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Expect an email from Google.
I gotta take the filter off for that.
Yes, we do, Harry Potter. Now I see it.
You see it?
Yeah, your phone.
Share it again. So,
you're telling me I should get an iPhone?
I would never tell you to get an iPhone. You could download Google Play Store on your iPhone anyway. Focus. All right, bam. You see it?
So Google Play Store is the devil. I get it.
Bro, why don't you just pull up the memes that have all the things associated with them?
Right, like one of those YouTube Illuminati videos.
Not even that. Just you can find the memes that show like this. It looks like that. This looks like that. That was really difficult to tell, but I already know what you're saying.
The human mind's good at picking up patterns.
Let's see.
You have anything else for us, Jay?
Sigil-wise.
Well, there's honestly there's a bunch. I could take you to this Pinterest thing right here and show you just the rundown, but I want to look for some specific ones, which I had pulled up, but
One thing I wanted to say is that, like, the first time you see, like, Memphis Rap Sigils start being talked about on the internet was in the August of 2017. Memphis Rap Sigils doesn't really refer to, like, specific bands or groups or members of them. It specifically refers to the case of, like, cult influence in the Memphis rap scene and horrorcore scene in general. It didn't really get popular until December of that year. And it's like when it was originally popped up on like a 4chan conspiracy iceberg thread, actually.
So these are some sigils also.
Those look like runes.
Right. And runes are sigils.
They were a Nordic form of signal, yes. Or sigil.
Now, as you can tell from all of these things that I'm showing you, there's a pattern to these things. They're all visual. I'm not quite sure if it's possible to use sigil magic in audio. However,
well, there's something different if you use an audio.
Well, you're not
something different you can use in audio.
I'm saying if you're using audio to try to like use magic, it wouldn't be using sigils. It'd be like, you know, casting a spell.
Right.
And with chaos magic too, all you would have to do is like visualize and through will of power have that desired outcome of putting a sigil into an audio recording.
And don't forget it, you said it yourself, Jay. You gotta hurl it at somebody. Hurl it.
What?
He said, nah, how he explained the chaos magic or some shit earlier. Like, towards the end of it, he was like, yeah, and then you just hurl it at somebody. Like a fucking fireball of chaos.
Yeah, you just gotta beat somebody to death with a cassette tape, Jay. What are you doing?
For that, you might as well just infuse your fist and beat the fuck out of them.
Infuse your fist with what?
Chaos magic.
Well, I'm trying to follow this conversation of magic and chaos attitudes.
So you're gonna throw a rune on your hand and just deck somebody with that shit?
That's what I'm saying.
The only thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna hit them.
Okay, you can hit them harder though.
Maybe you might have power.
Tell the police you're just being a Viking berserker.
Or maybe you OP your hand and you just knock a nigga head off like Jason in Manhattan. Pow! One hit quitter.
Well, we all know in the 90s, Memphis was a pretty gritty place. It was one of the most murderous rated states in the 90s.
Murder rate of 32 in 1993.
Right, it was like they were averaging 200 deaths a year, I believe, murders a year.
In 1993, I think it was around 300 actually.
300?
That was like its highest peak. 1993 and 1994.
And to put it in context, Memphis is not that big for it to have that many murders.
Right.
Yeah, I think only a population of 600,000, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lovely place, right?
Yeah, it does, actually.
Home of Graceland.
If you're in Memphis and you get shot up by a bunch of gang members, buy yourself some Dizzle.
Drink it while you pass by Graceland. Walk it. Don't no, don't listen to me because that's illegal. Don't do that. Don't walk and drink.
Ah, man, I'm driving by and the most.
Don't walk in Memphis in general.
Yeah, get yourself something like a Honda Pilot or maybe a Kia Sorento so you can kind of like blend
don't drink and drive.
And a gun.
Anyway,
everybody.
In the 90s, each region was trying to define itself in the hip hop scene. So you had the West Coast gangster rap happening. You had the East Coast party flow. Down south was still developing its style. So the Memphis rappers developed their style in the form of horrorcore, which they would sample horror movie tracks rather than
and snuff films too.
Right. Well, that's I was gonna get to that too, and we won't mention which murder they say are on these sigil tapes until the end, because it's gonna lead us right into next week. But horrorcore, which I pull something up here. Horrorcore is also called horrorcore, horror hip hop, horror rap, death hip hop, or death rap. It's a subgenre of hip hop music based on horror themed and often darkly transgressive lyrical content and imagery. Its origins derived from certain hardcore hip hop and gangster rap artists, such as Ghetto Boys, which began to incorporate supernatural, occult, and psychological horror themes into their lyrics. Unlike most hardcore hip hop and gangster rap artists, horrorcore artists often push the violent content and imagery in their lyrics beyond the realm of realistic urban violence, to the point where the violent lyrics become gruesome, ghoulish, unsettling, or slasher film or splatter film-esque. While exaggerated violence and the supernatural are common in horrorcore, the genre also frequently presents more realistic yet still disturbing portrayals of mental illness and drug abuse. Some horrorcore artists eschew supernatural themes or exaggerated violence in favor of more subtle and dark psychological horror imagery and lyrics. Horrorcore has incited controversy, with some members of the law enforcement community asserting that the genre incites crime. Fans and artists have been blamed for numerous high-profile instances of violence, criminal activity, including the Columbine High School Massacre, the Red Lake High School Massacre, and Farmville murders.
They say everything causes the Columbia fucking massacre. They blame Marilyn Manson for that bullshit too.
They blame everybody for that, but Marilyn's part of the occult. You know what I mean? He's had occult ties for years. Again,
who in Hollywood really doesn't though?
Right.
A lot more than you think.
YouTube, we are not trying to incite a riot by any means. We do not condone school shootings. We're reading this off of Wikipedia.
I don't think we ever said that.
I'm just saying, because this is. We also don't think that rap had anything to do with school shootings. Just to let you know, we're reading off of Wikipedia. This is what Wikipedia said. So
I'm tired of little fuckheads going to school with guns. They're the reasons why these things happen.
Right, and I'm tired of the algorithm fuckhead blocking my fucking.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of times, you know, it happens where they want to mask the real reason why this happened and try to throw the blame on another societal incident or suggestion that there's more behind it, when it's just some stupid fucking kid thinking about killing people. Like, it's just a kid. Get his ass some help. It's nothing more. It's nothing outside of it other than that stupid ass kid or person that decided to do that.
Tonight we're talking about Memphis rap and school shootings.
Hey, he probably had a Memphis Rap Sigil in his back pocket, or maybe he drew one
in his back pocket.
But seriously, like I used to think that too, because like in conjunction to like kids or stupid people doing mass killings or whatever, or like when these bad events happen, I do feel like sometimes like they pick or they put themselves in that time where whatever was going to happen, they help set it up, you know, and then all of a sudden like they don't know anything. So I feel like if it's still real, whoever's using these sigils, I don't think it allows you to remember what just happened. Because
see, the sigils that we're going to talk about apparently only happened on 8 Memphis rap tapes, and I'll name those 8 right now, and I'll name them from number 8 to number 1. But it's said to not have, the sigils didn't transfer over to digital. It's only on the tapes.
Specifically cassette form.
So people are that crazy then, and influence.
I mean, we'll debunk these things as we go also, because I don't see how, if this is real, 2 things. One, why any of these people that I'm gonna name on these 8 tapes, why didn't they blow up? Because obviously you're doing the sigils for a reason. You want an outcome. There's an endpoint to this.
Well, they blew up in success for a little bit.
None of these people blew up in success.
3-6 Mafia?
But 3-6 Mafia is not on this list.
It doesn't have to because they're ones who are involved with, like, considered part of the Memphis Rap Sigils conspiracy too.
They're part of the horrorcore scene, but they never had anything to do with these sigils.
Right.
And 3-6 Mafia didn't blow up from the horrorcore music, to be honest.
Right.
That's fair.
Right.
They just blew up because they had that one good song.
Well, no. But yeah,
no, I just have that one video of, like, Koopsta talking about, like, the occult scene inside of Memphis, too. So...
I have yet to see that.
Right, I think I got his article here somewhere.
Well, there's a video too, but
well,
yeah.
Send me the link on Instagram. I'll pull it up as long as we don't get flagged by fucking Instagram again. Anyway, so the 8 tapes, from 8 to number 1. Number 1 being the most significant because, and I think 3 or 4 of these tapes, maybe more. Number 1 was sampled. So number 1 was said to have the first sigil in the form of a murder taped and dubbed onto this tape somewhere, like used in the making of the beat or some shit. So you got at number 8, you got 10 wanted men, wanted dead or alive in 95. N.O.D. I didn't know that's what that was. N.O.D. stands for Niggas of Destruction in 96. Mr. Tinimaine, 1995. Children of the Corn, the single. That's number 5. Psycho, The Return of Psycho. H.O.H, Livin in a Casket. Maniac, The World of a Psycho. And at number 1, Little Ramsey, Goin, Undacova. So Little Ramsey Going Undercover was the one that's said to have the main sigil in it, and in the form of a murder. And it was sampled on a couple of these other tapes here. So we're going to read this article called X-Files of Rap Music on the X-Files of Rap's blog spot, titled Memphis Rap Sigils, November 27th, 2020. Says a lot of rap conspiracies are fun. Reptilians run the music industry. Rappers are cloned on the regular, and Jay-Z is a time traveler, etc. But Memphis Rap Sigils, however, is perhaps the most horrifying concept on the entire rap conspiracy iceberg. This one has rumors of everything: hidden gateways to hell, murder energy, worship of Egyptian gods, and even something I'm not mentioning till the end of the show.
Murder energy. First time I'm hearing that.
Even without the sigils, Memphis rap is pretty horrifying. In New York City, they chopped up Isley Brother records to make beats. In Memphis, they would take the sounds of women screaming from horror movies or snuff films and make a banger out of it. It's music made from wandering around a graveyard at 3 a.m. with a few tall cans of Steel Reserve. Not exactly the type of stuff you want to put on when someone hands you the aux cord. The 2018 documentary Welcome to Hell is worth watching to get a better idea. The music had an evil sound to it, so naturally, rumors spread that the people behind it were involved with occult activities and devil worship. Excuse me. This is nothing new in Memphis, a place long rumored to be an epicenter for the dark arts. In his amazing NWO documentary, Koopsta Nika from the 3-6 Mafia, rest in peace, tells a story of going to downtown Memphis to do a cover shoot. I remember this. Hold on. I apologize, people out there. I need to blow my nose.
And we never heard from him again.
At least you can see me.
It's like when your dad goes out for a pack of cigarettes.
That's fucking crazy. Does it come back? All right, where was I? Koopsta. The cover itself features Koopsta hung on a cross wearing some creepy eyes wide shut type mask while recording. They found a creepy warehouse across the street from the video shoot. When they walked in, they saw a bunch of white dudes wearing robes doing weird spooky shit. He mentions they even had some type of weird altar. They can go all the way back to the 1980s for stories about the heritage of hoodoo in Memphis. But where did the idea of Memphis Rap Sigils truly start? Like most good conspiracies, you can trace its origin back to 4chan. Looking back through the X archives, the first time you see the idea of Memphis Rap Sigils starts in around August of 2017. Its first appearance just so happens to be on an early version of one of the conspiracy icebergs. This image thread appears to be the first time the specific phrase Memphis Rap Sigils is used online. It didn't hit Google Trends until December.
That's weird. Because people have been saying 3 6 Mafia was some satanic shit for a long time, but for it to never really be a thing on the internet like that, I guess.
Well, that's probably what it is. It's probably somebody finally like compiled all of the stuff about the horrorcore like groups in Memphis, and then like finally made like a conspiracy about it. I don't think every single one of them are involved with it either.
Really, one of the interesting conspiracies about it says that somebody came across all these old Memphis tapes and thought they were more valuable than they really were, so they centered this urban legend around them so they can make more money off of them.
To be honest, that's probably the most like realistic one.
Right, because think about it. People are gonna pay a higher price for something they think is occult based than they would for just regular old Memphis fucking.
Jay, we got to set aside a talking junk budget so we can buy cassettes and make conspiracy theorems about them.
No, thank you.
Come on, Jay, it's the future.
Set aside a budget
for fucking old cassettes. At JHQ.
I'll talk to my sponsors. I'll see how they feel about that.
We get right. Dizzle, send us a bunch of old cassettes.
A few replies into the thread. Someone asked about the meaning of these mysterious sigils. The guy only got a handful of responses. One dude mentioned that the Memphis rap music has occult ties, not exactly breaking news. Another linked a podcast from Illuminati member researcher Isaac Wazop. The fuck?
Illuminati member? What?
Yeah, that's what it says here. Remember, I'm reading off of a site called The X-Files of Rap. All right? This is not me. I didn't say he was part of the Illuminati. They did. So don't take my video down, YouTube.
Dude, you are just like cowed at YouTube right now, man.
Right? I fucking hate that shit. I gotta keep doing that so the algorithm doesn't... Watch them still flag this shit.
Jay, maybe if you suck some more YouTube dick, you might be able to not get flagged.
Fuck that. Where was I? The podcast features William Ramsey, an expert on the West...
What?
All right. So next week, we're going to talk about the murder in question that is on these tapes. And they're saying that the murders that are on these tapes are linked to the West Memphis 3. So we're going to talk about the West Memphis 3 next week. But William Ramsey was a West Memphis 3 expert. And Ramsey is he convinced the murderers were occults in nature. Listen, I apologize. Between Dizzle and COVID brain, I'm all fucked up right now. So
he's dizzling right now.
I'm dizzling on the COVID brain. Where was I? All right. Ramsey is convinced the murderers were occult in nature, essentially some sort of sacrifices made to the lords of the underworld. More on that later. After the first thread on X, more posts started popping up asking questions specifically about the sigils. In this post, he links Hellraiser by Maniac and the full Goin Undacova mixtape from Lil Ramsey. This is where most commonly understood interpretation of Memphis Rap Sigils is first introduced, capturing the soul energy released by murdering a human being on a cassette recording in a Luciferian ritual. Perhaps this energy could then be used as an ingredient in chaos magic and/or sigil creation. So we already explained what chaos magic is. They're trying to explain that there. Interesting, now we finally get to the sigils. In modern usage, essentially in the context of chaos magic, sigil refers to a symbolic representation of the practitioner's desired outcome. All right, we already established that. But once the sigil is created, it must be charged with energy from House of Intuition. The final step is charging the sigil, filling the symbol with the necessary energy to accomplish its task. The symbol of your desire is just a symbol until you charge it. Whether you call this charging energy Kai, Q, Prana, Mana, or Force, you can manipulate it with your attention. So we now have a basic recipe for how to create Memphis Rap Sigils. 1, murder somebody. 2, record it. 3, chop it, the audio and sample it. 4, return the murder scene. 5, rap with the buddies over the murder beat. 6, put it on a mixtape. 7, sigil created. 8, sell the mixtape. 9, people listen to it. 10, sigil charged. 11, question marks. 12, profit. Which is what I want to keep arguing, because none of these motherfuckers made it. I ain't even heard of none of these guys. From there, whatever they wish now has enough energy to manifest itself into reality. In other words, every time you listen to one of these recordings, it's powering up some sort of fucked up sigil created by an evil rap wizard. If the
rap wizard.
If the sigil's purpose was for the fortune and fame, then its creator would immediately become rich and powerful. This summed up the idea nicely. Even if you don't believe any of this stuff about Memphis rappers, you have to wonder if similar things are happening with pop stars and other famous musicians. Ever wonder why they never really see video footage of hit songs being recorded in the studio? So what if this power was used for something other than just selling records and obtaining fame? Is it possible to use this evil, charged energy for more sinister purposes? Like hexing your rivals and cursing those who stand in your way? By simply listening to certain music, we are accidentally partaking in some sort of demonic worship.
This sounds like some shit like some crazy Christian mom would post on Pinterest.
Back on 4chan, more information started coming up in the months after the concept was first mentioned. This is the first time we hear of 8 specific tracks. There isn't 100% consensus, but it's generally agreed that these are the 8 sigils of Memphis rap. The ones I read to you guys already. And Wise fella, I already read them. You want me to read them again?
No.
10 Men Wanted, Four Corners, Part 3. Children of the Corn, Deep in the Woods. Maniac, Hellraiser. Little Ramsey. Magnolia, a.k.a. Down with Magnolia, featuring Tommy Wright. H.O.H. Outro. N.O.D. Niggas of Destruction. Mr. Tinimaine, Last Man Standing. Psycho, Welcome to the Graveyard.
Yeah, it sounds like they have some infatuations with death, dying, and murder.
See, one of the things I wanted to say earlier is another thing that would make it hard or unlikely is that back then the equipment to actually carry around and make those kind of things at a murder scene or anywhere you want to bring it along would have been expensive and very complex.
Right.
I don't think people from the hood of Memphis are pulling that shit around.
Well, some theories say that they had help from the government in Memphis because the government has occult ties in Memphis, is what the theory states. But a wise fella on YouTube named Romanus claims the following. For those who want a quick, easy reference for the supposed sigils, these 5 rappers are generally agreed upon to have tapes that certain chop samples of the murder are the sigils. These next few are also to contain the sigil samples, but they are not as widely agreed upon. I have arranged them in order of most likely to contain the sigil to at least likely based on different testimonies I have read. So he just broke them down, the list I just read to you guys down on which ones would have it and which ones are less likely to have it. It says another key aspect is mentioned here. If you listen to any of those songs on Spotify or YouTube, it doesn't count. You have to listen to the original cassette recordings in order for it to work. This is tricky because most of the tapes had extremely limited pressings, so most copies are either lost to history or worn out and unplayable at this point.
That means you got to spend the money on eBay and give the original creator of this conspiracy lots of money.
Occasionally, supposed original copies of the tape pop up on eBay. If you buy one, good luck. Based on the available info, it seems that the original copies of some or all of these tapes are what constitutes to Memphis Rap Sigils. So what happens if one person collected all the original versions of all 8? It is like some diabolical version of Dragon Ball Z. A huge evil dragon pops out your 40 and grants you any wish you want. Or can the power only be harnessed by the original creator of the sigil? To this day, we're still getting more info theories regarding the sigils from earlier this year. Speaking of 3-6 Mafia, I guess I have to read this to know. All right, fuck it. Says Anonymous, January 2020. Some will say this is just an aesthetic. Regardless of 3-6 admitting to doing rituals themselves, this came around the same way rappers rap about money and clothes. All right, whatever. Now, getting to 3-6, it says they're easily the most popular and integral part of Memphis rap scene, yet none of their music is involved with sigils. Juicy J remains an incredibly popular and successful figure to this day. Coincidence? Dead Rabbit Radio, one of Darby's favorite podcasts.
Hell yeah, shout out to fucking Dead Rabbit Radio.
Has one hell of a take on the concept. It stems from a strange post on 4chan in July of 2018. It's from Anonymous again. It says
that's all going to be from Anonymous because 4chan is an anonymous image board.
What's up with Memphis rap? Did 3 bands really summon the god from the 4th corner over the spirits of 3 sacrificed children? Are there really gateways to hell in Memphis? And if it's true, which are the bands who participated and which albums aligned to form the sigil? And how is it accessed and utilized? Now, you might say, these motherfuckers didn't mention no gateways to hell. That's because we didn't get there yet, and I did forget to mention it. This whole thing is supposedly tied to the Nephilim and the gates to hell underneath, I think, the mountains over there in Memphis.
Because of course it is. Everything comes back to the Nephilim, fucking apparently.
That's a new one. I didn't know that was added.
Yeah, it's supposed to be all tied in with all of that shit. The basic rundown is something like this. Memphis, Tennessee gets its name from an ancient Egyptian capital.
Yep.
They worship
Ptah.
There you go. The creator god who existed before all other things. The 4th corner refers to a location in west of Memphis. The West Memphis 3 murders were ritualistic sacrifices or some other to Plat or some deity. The
Plat.
murderers, yeah.
Yeah. That's the Dizzlin.
The murders were sampled and then mixed into a certain song to create sigils. They admit there's no real evidence, but it's one hell of a theory. Other rumors exist that the murderers used for the sigils actually took place at the Sugarloaf Bat Tower in the
Murders
South Florida
at Sugarloaf.
It says here at the Bat Tower in South Florida Keys, a useless invention made for bats that never came. They summoned him there. It was in. It was a road trip via key lines. The children of the corn were there. Their song, Deep Into the Woods, contained samples of screams from victims sacrificed under the Bat Tower.
Jay, mind you, this is a YouTube comment.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. Did you find that? You found the article we're reading?
Oh, I've had it up.
It's unclear, but the user may be referring to a string of satanic murders that happened in Monroe County, Florida in the late 80s. 2 of the victims had their hearts cut out and stolen.
Sounds like a good time.
It sounds like Florida. They still haven't found the killers. From the Miami Herald, published August 13th, 1989. Sherry Fizero slept under the stairs in a little garden, Digny. She talked about the magic of Saturn. She said she had the power to make rain. Everyone in these once heavenly keys called her the Rainmaker.
This is the Miami Herald?
Yeah, the Miami Herald.
What?
Then on the night after a full moon, someone from hell, lunatic or Satanist, snatched the Rainmaker's soul. A killer slit her throat, cut open her chest, and stole her heart. The murder of Sherry Fizero, 39, a high school beauty queen from Illinois, is the 3rd unsolved homicide of a female along this 10-mile string of rural coral rock barrier islands. Big Pine, Little Torch, and No Name within a year. One of the other victims, like Fizero, had a missing heart, and some people in the Keys, usually laid back and relaxed, are very, very frightened. The consistent story is that the murderers had something to do with the satanic cult connected with the drag shipments.
Drug shipments.
The what shipments?
Drug shipments.
He said drag shipment.
Bro, look at. All right, let me show you real quick. I had to look at how small on my screen it really. Oops.
Oh,
it really is compared to how I just had it.
Well, why don't you use that filter that gives you glasses? They don't help at all. They're just for looks.
Well, my contacts are supposed to help.
I wasn't talking about your contacts.
Listen, he's too busy reading to play with filters.
He's reading what?
The article.
I don't know where I am.
It's because you don't have your glasses.
I would love to help read, but I barely have talking voice right now.
I don't know where the fuck I am now. One of the other victims, like Fizero, had a missing heart, and some people in the Keys, usually laid back and relaxed, are very, very frightened. The consistent story is that the murderers had something to do with a satanic cult connected with drug shipments, says Nancy Banks, 37, a bartender. So what do you think? Were these dudes just LARPing as Satanists in order to sell a few records? Or was there something truly sinister going on in Memphis? Were a few of... Huh?
Yes.
Something sinister?
No, yes to both.
Yes to both? Were a few of these rappers actually deeply in tune with the infinite powers of chaos magic? How much of an effect can music actually have on us? Jay, can you take over real quick? I'll be right back.
How much of an effect can music actually have on us? If music can be used for evil purposes like this, is there also a counterbalancing force of good? One thing I wanted to go back to earlier is that, like, not only would it be hard to lug around that type of equipment, actually using chaos magic and putting it onto a magnet, like putting it onto an actual cassette tape, is no different than putting it onto like a digital platform, other than the method that the data itself is stored in. Instead, it would just be stored on a magnetic cassette tape, which would be just the same thing as turning it into something digital and putting it on Spotify or any other YouTube platform. So why digitally is it excluded? To me, I think Jay's theory that maybe this theory was created to sell more like fucking eBay albums, so that like some dude who created this conspiracy theory can get money is a pretty decent take. But overall, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Do you think they had the mindset 30 years ago that this was going to be a thing? Probably not. I highly doubt they were just doing that shit just for the fuck of it.
Right.
I don't know. I think that probably what happened is that a lot of them were just playing with the idea. Because it happens a lot in music. It's not even just like, it's not even just rap. It's like metal used to play with like satanic themes and shit too. And in general, you had the satanic panic that just happened in like the late 80s. So like I feel like that maybe like one or two people in Memphis were playing with it. Like I was like Jay mentioned 3-6 Mafia earlier with like Koopsta. But, like, I don't know. I think that, like, most of it is just people who are LARPing, like Jay said, to just try to sell some more records.
Of course. There's always going to be that part.
And I wanted to add to that part where you were saying, like, how, like, years ago, they didn't, like, think this would be something that would be like it how it is now. But I think what happened was you probably had, like, that one artist or that one person that was introduced to these guys that was like, yo, what we thought we were fucking with, this guy really knows a lot about, and probably showed others. Like there's always that one person who knows more about something that they go to on the download. It really sounds funny just saying it like that, but somebody had to have put them onto it because
yeah, exactly.
This kind of knowledge or coming across this kind of actual sense of magic in a way, like it doesn't just fall in your fucking lap. You don't just walk down the street and be like, what the fuck was that? Oh, it's a book of spells. Oh shit. Yo, Dre, I got some runes we should try out, yo. Like, it doesn't just happen. Not even organically it happens. Like, someone must...
I don't know. I guess that's the kind of shit that goes on in Memphis.
But yeah, if it's meant... But still, even in Memphis, like...
You got rap gigs that's flinging spells and shit, dog. Come on.
And the whole rap game, like, yo, you down with runes? What you said? We'll talk about later in a few verses, so no one knows. No one knows what. All right, he got a blunt. All right, let's see where this goes. Like... the point I'm getting to is like somebody put someone else onto it and then the snowball into like, hey, you guys got to see these people I know who probably are fucking with what we're trying to get into much more hardcore, and we could probably make more money, sell more records, or do something to get our message across in a very subtle way. Like there's always something. Somebody put you onto what you're doing now, and even if that is what you're doing, that is more proof that it's out there. Like people are onto something. Kind of like I want to say, but like there's a deeper secret to almost every subject that we looking into. Somebody knows more than you do and speak to the right people, you might get connected with that person. So this had to have been some kind of deeper connection than just people using it. Like someone knows more knowledge to how deep this stuff really goes, and they tapped into it for said money. Because if they're using it, let's say, to manipulate said music and get more, just become more famous, I guess, then isn't that like wishing for like clout or being greedy? Like they're using that magic for just
to set an intention in order to fulfill it. Yeah.
Imagine if you had people that were that ambitious to want it that much in fame to do something else, like.
Well, that's the foundation of all sorts of magica. It's no wonder that you have like Hollywood elite and other people up in the upper echelons of society who use those types of things in order to progress their fame and power. We're not listing any specific names because just like Jay, I guess I have to take over his role of sucking dick for YouTube. But no, you also have a point too, because Koopsta from 3-6 Mafia, like I was mentioning earlier, he's mentioning specifically that he used to have like try to get like other people who joined onto the like Profit Entertainment's label and tried to get them to like open up their minds to the ideas of magica and chaos magica. Like that person you're mentioning who knows more on the block and the one who's showing everyone around. He mentioned specifically in his documentary he wants other folk in the scene to get more comfortable with magica and other forms of practice so that they can recognize that there's more power to this world than the binary of God and the devil. Right. That's what he wants to teach and educate folk. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the same time, they're approaching it like a counselor's form. It's like, oh shit, I know this person. We already associate on this level, and now he knows something deeper I'm looking into. So of course, like you're gonna be intrigued. Like, oh shit, it's a little secret. Tell me what you know, because I'm really into this.
Well, that's what you're saying about that in group. Around the time of '93 is when there was like an inner circle. It was like made up of 30 people who were local artists and producers from Wade Haven, Fraser, and Orange Mound. All of them being neighborhoods in Memphis. That's where Profit Entertainment and Street Smart Records were consists of, like to build up mostly of that inner circle roster. And like on top of that too, that's like that inner circle group of people is probably the reason, like, because he mentions in the documentary that like he had trouble with like other people like quitting the group or like jumping out of it because they got scared by like what he was teaching other people, and that's what I was trying to explain earlier, why Profit Entertainment's probably split into Hypnotized Minds.
Okay. I didn't know the full backstory of that, but hey, now it's making more sense.
Right.
It just goes to show that there was some influence behind all that. Because under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have what I would call the greedy mindset of looking for more elsewhere rather than what you were trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Originally, like and then greed can be more than just money. Like it could be the satiation of wanting more than the next person, or trying to instill more of what.
Well, let me tell you something too. Like when I used to play in a band back at home, in Buffalo, and one of the things, there's like this sort of clout, like you're talking about, when you're in the music scene, there's this sort of clout that you have between other artists, like a sort of status or sort of view and perspective that other artists and how they see you and the way you want to be seen by other artists who are in your scene. Sort of like an in-group. That's why they form those labels together and why they have sorts of people inside of their clique. That's why some gangsters jump on labels so they can actually represent their group on the label. What he could be wishing for in terms of power and fortune is not just fame, like public fame, but fame within the actual scene that he is in. Either that or just power and the ability to educate other people so they can fight with other means other than just straight up gang violence. Either that or personally to further his own gains. Either that or possibly just someone who wants to sell a couple extra cassettes on eBay, you know?
Yeah. But see, that's what I mean. Like they're using it for like a right now gains kind of thing, so they can kind of like move their way up into like more manipulative ways. Like, oh shit, I can make money with this, or I can make more network connections with this for even more money. And when people want to know, then I can start bringing them in or share a little secret. Like it just expands on a bigger network, but it's still crazy though, because it is a real thing outside of our already hungry ambitiousness that we have to seek out more knowledge, seek out more power, if you will, if not wealth.
It's just another person in the hood trying to find a way out, you know what I mean?
But you know, if it's happening in Memphis, then you know that's that dark magic. You know what I mean? Like that real dark, like dark Southern magic, especially where all the other dark shit comes from in our history.
Well, and you not only got Memphis's massive murder rate and their homicides and obvious, like, I mean, they're bad with their gang warfare too. Fucking, oh shit, Jay's back. Welcome back.
Yeah,
I was listening the whole time. I agree with everything I was saying.
Tissue. It's a lot of boogers, huh?
Jay was listening the whole time. What were you doing?
Word.
I was indisposed, okay?
You're indisposed, huh?
How were you indisposed if you were available?
This man's throwing up Excalibars and Dizzle.
Right?
No, I wasn't throwing up.
Well, shit. Pick off, Jay. Come on, let's go.
No,
pick it up.
Finish what you guys were talking about.
All right. Well, listen, what we were saying is we were talking about in general, just like when it comes to like the whole like thing in general, it just comes from probably people are making the rap Memphis Sigils in general as like just a name for when like 3-6 Mafia and Koopsta were like spreading that knowledge through the label of Profit Entertainment, which had a lot of influential horrorcore people in the Memphis scene on that label. And what the Memphis Rap Sigils is probably referring to is the absurdity of that, because we really don't know the details or what Koopsta was doing for people, because even on the interview, on his own documentary, he's like almost hesitant to even discuss it in the first place.
I just want to ask the same question Dre asked you earlier.
What's up?
Why the fuck do you keep saying documentary like that?
I don't know, man. I guess I just have something. I have a weird way of saying specific words. I don't know. I was in speech when I was a kid. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
As long as we can still understand you, you'll be alright.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying. You can hear me, motherfucker. What does it matter?
Yeah, we understand you for now. We'll question it later, but let's keep it rolling because I got more questions later.
Anyway, Koopsta did say though that he would have gotten up there, like with his career, had he actually went forward with the gay request that he had in a New York party.
Say that again. I heard exactly what you said, but I remember Darby you said some shit about like, oh, that's the shit that some Christian mom on Pinterest says. When all these it's a funny joke when all these people in the entertainment business say this is what actually happens in the studios and at these parties and shit. All that conspiracy has some merit to it because people who are in the music business and had a deal and everything like that, they're saying, yeah, I was almost really, really on, and then I had to go to some party, and I didn't feel like playing that game with those guys. So you're never going to hear from that artist ever again.
Right.
Yeah. That's part of a Freemason initiation ritual is literally gay sex.
Supposedly.
A lot of
supposedly.
I don't know, man. What do you? It's a bunch of dudes inside the temple. What do you think happens in there?
Oh no, for sure. Definitely with those guys, but just in general, like for the music business, when these guys are like, yeah, I had a chance to make $1 million and have a hit record, but they wanted me to go back to the hotel and to the party and all this other shit. You're never gonna hear from that guy again.
Right.
And there's so many rappers who have said this throughout the last fucking 15 years on the internet. Ain't no denying it anymore. You could believe it or you not or don't.
And they always mention Diddy.
Diddy's. I mean, look at how much money Diddy's worth and how many people he's connected to.
You mean like the human centipede, like that? That connected like that?
Nah, but
I wouldn't put it.
That's what happens at the Freemason parties.
You ever see that video where he's asking Fabulous why he don't party with him?
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Why you don't party more? Just hearing that question is sus. It's like first of all, I'm grown to make a decision that I'm just not doing that.
Bro, he was like, "What you mean? We just partied for my birthday." He was like, "No, but you don't party with me." And I think he grabbed him or some shit.
He wants a one-on-one private party.
Right.
Back room where anything could go down. And a lot of rappers get on and they're not for that, but you'll never hear from certain people ever again.
Oh, shit is weird in the industry, period, bro. Like, I just found out today, not today, a couple days ago, because of Drink Champs, fucking Biggie Smalls used to get his fucking salad tossed by Faith Evans and shit.
You didn't know that?
No, I don't want to know that.
I mean, that's like, he said that a while ago.
It's nasty shit.
I don't want. Now I have the image of Biggie Smalls getting a salad toss, and I want to convertibly scrub that from my head. I have to scrub that from my head. That's disgusting.
I was trying not to say the same thing either. Like, I didn't even hear that shit. Must have gotten past me because I grew up listening to Biggie as one of the top hip hop guys growing up. You know, besides Jay-Z, Nas, and you name them. You know, but I could have lived not knowing that.
I mean, if you listen to Biggie, he says a lot of crazy suspect shit anyway. So it's not that crazy to think he had Faith Evans eat his ass. Like, yeah, that sounds plausible.
I don't want to think that further into it. That's a big dude. She's a little smaller than him.
Big was bigger than a lot of people.
Yeah, on nicely.
I can see the struggle in Big's face.
At least we're not having this conversation.
So much sarcasm knocking on the fucking door right now as we speak. I just rather not.
Welcome to the break room. We're talking about Memphis Rap Sigils and Biggie Smalls' ass getting tossed.
Evans.
No croutons.
No croutons.
Just Faith Evans.
I mean, now you got to think it wasn't really just Faith Evans. You know, Little Kim had a taste of that.
Yo, she had to make him bending like Beck. Like she bending like Beckham.
They broke up.
Too bad we have no one in the chat. Tell us, chat. What do you think of who would toss Biggie Smalls' ass?
I think whoever we had in the chat got scared away once we said Biggie Smalls was getting salad sauce.
That's what we're gonna get hit on YouTube for.
We're saying Biggie Smalls had a salad sauce.
You are no longer allowed to mention Biggie Smalls and salads. Nonetheless, the secret word of tossing in any of the segments.
You said the secret word of the day.
Oh man.
What's the word of the day, Pee Wee? Salad.
Even the couch started spazzing. They stay still. They just all of a sudden they flapping and they talking.
And in that house, if we're talking salads being tossed, the couch should be the one yelling.
In Jay's house, it's the Dizzle.
The bottle?
The bottle.
What's the biggest thing we could take away from this Memphis Rap Sigils? Well, the one thing I think is it's bullshit.
Biggie Smalls ass.
Biggie Smalls ass. But none of these motherfuckers are famous enough to say that they did things like that. And even if they did do these things, they didn't do them successfully.
No, but
if I may,
they didn't get doing it because they didn't go all the way through with the music business part of the game. It was 1992 when they was doing this shit. So most rappers weren't going to be on anyway. Like the biggest rapper in 1992 was really not that big of a deal.
They selling this shit out of the back of their fucking coupes in that fucking shows, dude.
Yeah, they're selling this shit out of the back of their trunk at a show. They're not really going to become household names in the first place.
Right.
And I wanted to go to the point where nowadays instead of horrorcore music we have drill, and drill is basically like the new version of horrorcore music when you really listen to it.
Suicide Boys too, even though I don't like them.
That was random. Why don't you like the Suicide Boys?
They're just not. I don't know, man. I just don't.
Oh well, I was gonna agree with what Dre was saying because even before Dre went. I was gonna say something close to that too because like that's probably why, like how you said, they didn't make it that big. They didn't go that far into it as they wanted to. They were able to get a taste of it and figure what out it was, but I guess they overall like.
So you think overall, Koopsta was the one that made it the biggest out of these rap sigils, and because he didn't go through with the rest of the initiation, is why he didn't make it and ultimately died.
I would believe so because if he's dead now and like how you were saying, like him, like how Dre said, him and others have mentioned about said party not going and not trying to like be part of something that just all of a sudden made their names drop off the face of earth in a sense, and now the motherfucker's dead. How can you not think something had to go down? Like not trying to say that it is 100% because we still don't know. It's between God and whoever else is involved. Other than that, it's just all speculation. It's possible. I think it is. I'm just not looking for that kind of trouble.
What I was saying to Migs earlier while you were indisposed, Jay, was that
No, he was predisposed.
Predisposed, I see. I'm using the wrong word. But no, what I was saying earlier is that like basically maybe he wished for something different other than just like fame and general fortune. I was saying that maybe he wished for more recognition in his own like rap community, because one thing I was mentioning that is somebody,
but he still didn't get that.
Oh, dude, we talk about 3 6 Mafia is probably one of the biggest horrorcore names that there is back then.
3 6 Mafia is one of the biggest names, and honestly, the biggest name out of 3 6 Mafia is Juicy J.
You're right, but that doesn't mean that Koopsta is like, you know, I don't know. It's just like it doesn't have to be as big as Juicy J, but it could just be like popular as in like he's still well renowned, like respected. And remembered, because we're talking about him now.
Putting a stretch on it, because I didn't even know who Koopsta was until I did research on this.
But he's the only one who actually talks about the actual ties to that shit inside of the industry that was Memphis in general.
Right.
And he mentions other members of it being a part of it.
It's just, yeah. It's like one of those, the power was too great for them. Like, if they could have been bigger, or probably been able to, I don't know, spread the word more, if they had probably went through more with it. With the fact that it's coming up in said ways in so many different angles, it's possible. It was just one of those, like a petty robbery, right? Like, yeah, all the power in your hand, you have the plan set up, you still fucked up. You did something wrong, and it just didn't work out for you in the long run. Or maybe they had a change of heart. Maybe they wanted something else in the midst of what they were already getting, and like how you said, like maybe they wanted recognition. And this said phenomena, whatever this evil power is, maybe that's not how you play that card. Maybe it likes to play in the shadows, where you got to be super discreet, or like bring it in on a needs to know one-on-one basis type of thing with somebody. not like yeah, I want everybody in on it. Like I don't know. There are certain ways to go about things. There's certain ways to go about different things, and if they had done it right, it would have been bigger than what it is now. So us being able to even decipher it now is already like, holy shit, there's something here. Like finding our cultural hieroglyphics. Like something breaks the fucking concrete. All of a sudden you find a time capsule. Holy shit. Something.
Then Ivan Ooze pops out and you got to call the fucking Power Rangers. Well, nobody got nostalgic. I know it's too old for Darby, but come on.
It was your timing, not.
I mean, that was random as shit. Like,
it was very fucking random.
I understand where you're coming from, but I wasn't expecting Ivan Ooze and the Power Rangers.
Right?
when he said he unearthed a fucking time capsule.
Yeah, there's a lot of topics we've discovered on this episode that we would never expect to talk about.
Fucking teenagers.
With attitude. Still crickets? Damn, I'm just not going to talk no more.
Yeah, you're missing the plot.
Yeah. You're belly flopping on concrete, like hot concrete right now. So,
you know, we can argue real quick on 3 6 Mafia being the biggest thing out of horrorcore because I really don't think they are.
That's fair.
In hip hop, they are. Like our kind of hip hop. But I would say Juggalos, I think, outnumber.
Yeah, that's completely fair.
It's kind of different because Insane Clown Posse, they did their whole entire thing. And it's like they were really dedicated to that shit, and they didn't try to make anything different. So they're a real big cultural movement, a subculture, I would say.
Right. I'll tell you what they did change though: surveillance.
Juggalo face paint fucks up surveillance on like AI fucking cameras. Yeah, I heard about that.
Genius.
Yep.
That's probably why they did
it. I don't think they knew.
Of course not.
And yeah, I'd say they're a fucking subculture. They have like a gathering every single year.
No, yeah, they definitely are a legit subculture or part of hip hop.
My dad has a Hatchet Man fucking tattoo on his ankle.
Fun fact about the Insane Clown Posse: they are wrestlers.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I thought most people. Oh, look at you! You fucking. Are you telling us something right now, Jay?
No, I've never listened to an Insane Clown Posse track.
He tells us a lot.
Are you for real?
He tells us a lot without saying a damn word.
Yeah, you're right.
Because his actions already do it.
Jay, you got to make a Dizzle and Fago drink.
Dizzle and Fago? I think I've made one already.
Did you with Fago?
I think so.
You look like you're on Dizzle and Fago right now.
I'm on the dirty water, sir.
The dirty water.
Yes.
You're on that swamp faucet water.
It is the Dizzle mixed with Sonic's ocean water. It tastes amazing.
It makes it blue.
It makes it dark blue because of the orange.
Oh, shit. What else, Jay? Come on. What do you have to finish off for us?
Well, what I have to finish off is you guys need to take these, everything that we said here with a grain of salt because...
Are you about to suck YouTube dick again?
No. Unlike most of...
Salad.
I'm going to what?
Toss YouTube salad.
YouTube is far from Biggie and I'm far from Faith, so fuck that.
I mean, you've been tossing the salad all night for YouTube.
A little bit, just a little
and you
bit.
failed to get out, so
little tongue action, a little bit.
He's dizzling around the rim.
He forgot to come up for air. He forgot to come up for air.
Well, what I was going to say is that unlike most of the conspiracies that we'll eventually get to on the rap conspiracy theory iceberg list, this really don't have too much merit to it. You can't, other than what Dre said, not wanting to go through with the full initiation to get the fame, other than maybe Juicy J. I really don't see these guys benefiting from these sigils at all. So
you gotta do it like Biggie did it.
Put a sigil on her tongue.
Put a sigil on the tongue, or on the eye.
Shoved it up his ass.
Dude, sigilized butthole.
Sigilized butthole.
Every time you take a shit, it's magic.
That's me lucky charms. They're magically delicious. And there you have it. Rap sigils.
And being magically delicious.
Another thing I want to touch on before we leave is I don't believe there's no evidence that suggests the murders in question used on these tapes were in any way, shape, or form. No. They were any way, shape, or form connected to the West.
You said that like 80 times already. We're not gonna get flagged, bro.
The West Memphis 3. I don't give a fuck about getting flagged. I'm trying to say.
Yeah, apparently you do.
Right now, no. Right now, I'm not talking about that. There was a theory stating that it might have been connected to the West Memphis 3 murders. That those are the murders they're using on the sigil tapes, but no evidence suggests that really took place. So what we'll do next week is we're gonna go and tell you guys the story of Mr. Damien Eccles and his two supposed friends.
Is it gonna be enough to cover an hour and a half?
Oh, it should be.
Well, the West Memphis 3. You've never heard of the West Memphis 3?
Well, no. It was the two. It was the murder by of those two girls. I had it pulled up. Hang on, because it was in the Blogspot article too. But
yeah. Well, we're going to touch on that next week.
I was going to say we shouldn't talk about it here. So
there will definitely be enough for a whole episode. There might even be enough for more than one episode. But we have never, ever done a two-parter, and we will never, hopefully, do one ever.
Coming up soon.
A two-parter.
No, fuck that.
Sponsored by?
We are sponsored today by Excalibur, by Heaven's Pantry, and Dizzle brand premium liqueur.
If you're going to murder someone, cave their head in and make a nice, record out of it.
No, we don't want to implement Dizzle in anything like that.
If you're artistic, if you're artistic and you can draw your own sigil, do it on Dizzle.
Don't do any of that on Dizzle. Do it on us, though, because we love you, and we brought the sigil magic to you. We let you know what that was. So if you are planning on using any sigils to make yourself famous,
use Excalibur.
Definitely. Make sure you make us famous, too. We love you. Good night until next week. The West Memphis 3. Stay tuned.
Hey, I found the sigil.
Where'd you find it? In Biggie's butt?